And a good Sunday evening, everybody. It's Revis and PBJ. We are here for round number 6 of the Zoom Racing League Division 1 coverage from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Yeah, track is an amazing track. It's been on the calendar for a long time. One of the driver favorites, and we just had a great D2 race, and know the D1 boys are going to do the same. Let's take a look at the circuit. It is 4.3 miles, a long track around these up and down hills, 19 turns, 3 DRS zones. Nope, 2 DRS zones. What am I talking about? 2 DRS zones, and lots of overtaking. Always a threat for wet weather here as well. Alfa Romeo running away with the championship. Current championship leader Alfonso Luis. Travis Robinson in second. Victor Diaz in third. Big storyline today, though. Alfonso Luis is actually not going to race tonight. We're going to have a reserve driver for him. It's going to give Travis Robinson a huge chance to make up some gap in the championship. But also this teammate, Ricardo T, is going to be there ready to go the entire time as well. Let's go ahead and check in with our other commentator tonight. Revis, how's it going, sir?
It's wonderful to have you back. It's good to be back here in Spa together. It's a great track. I know you love it as much as I do. And these racers, man, they're going to be flying around here at a really, really fun, fast track. Absolutely.
So, storylines today. Alfonso Luis not at the track this evening. We've got a reserve driver filling in for him. It looks like it's going to be, I think, Sid is going to fill in for him, one of the D2 top runners.
Yep, really young, really fast driver from India. Sid can absolutely fly around here. Really good driver, keeps it clean, and he can run up there with the top boys. It's going to be interesting because we've got Ranger in for Moto Lee, who is out. We've got Gator in for the missing Taylor Carter, I believe, and then Sid. So that's 3, and then subbing for the Ferraris is MVA. So we have 4 reserve drivers here, but all of them really quick and really experienced. And as Ian goes around, Ian was going to be one of our first ones to set a fast lap, but spun it right there at the end of the Camel Straight.
Yeah, Ian, obviously a very fast driver. All these drivers in D1, you're going to hear me say that a lot. They're super quick. Ian getting it all wrong in his first out lap there, but we are doing full qualifying tonight, so your job right now is just not be in the bottom 5. So get out there, set a lap on your maybe some medium tires if you want, but everybody's out on the softs, which is surprising to me, but who am I? I'm not a D1 driver, so maybe they got this figured out and I don't, but get a fast tap on the board, get the D2 or Q2 and do it all again.
Yeah, I'm getting some reports right now that we may have some cables crossed somewhere because some people are not able to see the screen currently.
Okay, let me check a few things.
Like it's way off to the right.
Yep, that's on me. Stand by.
Okay, so we'll get our satellites realigned.
How's that?
Takes care of that.
There we go. Thanks for the heads up.
How's that?
All right.
So one of the cool things we're doing this week is we're trying out a new lower latency mode. So a lot of times there's a disconnect between what we say and then when it actually gets to your ears and eyes. So you guys are going to be seeing this right as it happens with no delay, and so it's going to be really nice as far as the viewing public.
So first driver to set a fast lap into the 142 is going to be Ricardo T, one of the fastest drivers on the grid, and he sets a flyer of 142.4. That was faster, I think, than the D2 poles time in Q3, so super quick lap for him. Looks like Ian may be on a flyer here. Let's hop on board with him. Taking attempt number 2 here in the Mercedes. Heads down the back straightaway of this awesome track. This is where the old track used to run straight ahead off around the hills down there, but now it curves off through the Lacombe chicane here. Super high-speed chicane down the hill to the Brussels hairpin, which kind of falls away and downhill at the same time. Then it's back over to the right, flick it to the left for the no-name turn here. Don't run too wide and invalidate there. He might have actually done that as he runs in the grass all the way down. Yeah, he did invalidate. So that's the risk here. These curbs are super flat and inviting. Easy to want to push them and just push them too far, just like Ian did right there.
So talking with some of the drivers, those flat curves much like we saw at Lucille this morning, people want to take those curves, but then you run that ride height just a little too low, and you lose that aero balance, and you touch these curbs, and you're gone. Especially the entry to Pujon, you get too close to that one on the left, you dip that left front tire on that curb, you're done. You're toast. You're getting sent into the wall.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drivers in the D2 race touch that wall, or excuse me, touch that curb, and then touch the wall. It's very easy to do. Watching Shaggy Muffin here in the Williams, trying to get a good showing this week. Looking really good through Lacombe there. Heads down the hill through the Brussels hairpin. Heads down to one of my favorite corners, Pujon. Down a couple gears, flick it to the left. Then wide open through the second turn there.
Really nice. Could have taken a little more exit curve there, but this is the time to set a safe lap, right?
That's right. Getting a little bit of net code on the stream. Looks like it may have cleared itself up right there, but I didn't have that in the D2 race a few minutes ago, so just always fun things to kind of explore and hope we don't get, but maybe it'll get better as we watch here. Watching Shaggy Muffin come up all the way through Blanchimont up to the chicane. Let's see what kind of time he can put on the board in the Williams. Looks like a good run. He's going to be P8, 143.6.
Not bad. Good starting time. Top 15, we're going to be looking, 144.5 and below, looking at the times. Travis yet to set a lap. He's quick. Victor Diaz will set a quick lap. Raptor's got a lot of experience around this track. He'll set a pretty quick lap, so we'll have to see what Ranger and Gator are able to do. But they just got all that experience. They got to get their mindset out of that wet racing and back onto dry, push hard racing. Looks like our next driver to come across the line with the time will be Ranger.
So it's been a while since I've been at this track, but I've noticed a lot of the faster drivers are running the grass between the no-name turn and Pujon. I guess that's the new quick line around here. Here comes Ranger up to the chicane. Nice. McLaren does a good job of getting out of the way right there. Chicane slows him down to the straightaway here. Gets a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. Ranger up to P6, 143.3.
Really good lap from him. I've got a little bit of lag here because I've got him all the way up in the straight now.
I think I'm actually on the right one because I got he would cross the line, the time updated. So maybe you got a little bit of desync going on there.
We'll give it a few minutes to see what happens.
Okay.
So drivers yet to set a time on my screen. I've got Joel, Raptor, Victor, Gator, and Travis.
Yep, and Travis looks like he might be on an out lap. Let's hop on board with him. Second in the championship right now in the AlphaTauri. So if you're new to the Zoom Racing League, this is a league of F1 2021. Also a set of course of competition zone. 3 divisions for F1, D1, D2, D3. This is D1, the fastest of the 3 divisions. Drivers here have worked their way up through the lower divisions, prove that they have the pace, and you're going to see that reflected tonight in the qualifying times as the gap between P2 and P12 right now is, 7/10 of a second? So that's just on their first runs. These times will be very close tonight. Everybody looking for whatever they can do on this lap that's a minute 43 all the way around this track, looking for a 10th better than their competition. So skill levels through the roof here. It takes a lot of concentration. Travis Robinson here in the AlphaTauri, one of the drivers that runs both the Assetto Corsa and F1. Second in the championship here in F1 as he takes the AlphaTauri out for his first time lap, and I'm expecting him to be up in the top 5.
Gator set himself a P8 with a 143.4, so that's a pretty good lap from him there.
Yeah, Gator just had another run in D2 there. Had a terrible finish, though. Lost it out of the chicane on the final turn and DNF'd right. I mean, he could walk to the start-finish line. Had a podium in his grasp, but was not meant to be. So he's going to look to redeem himself here as that line in the grass just cracks me up down to pool.
That's crazy.
But
if it works, it works, right?
yeah, I mean, like I said, these drivers are looking for anything they can to get a tenth on anybody else around them. And if it means you got to straight line those two corners, then that's what you're going to do. As long as the game lets you do it, it's fair game. So here comes Travis down the Blanchimont straight here. Flat all the way down the chicane.
Ranger up in P4 just seems to be doing push lap after push lap. It's about time to bring that thing in and park it for a minute and breathe.
And Travis comes across the line. He goes P2, a second driver in the 142s. Great lap from him.
Only 3/10 off Ricardo, so that's a good time because you know Travis doesn't go out there lightly. And Ricardo, there's a chance he's holding something back to really show the fireworks in Q3, but I think he knows what his safe time is, and Travis knows he can get right there behind him.
So again, bottom 5 do not transfer here. Joel Guron yet to set a lap time. Raptor's yet to set a lap time. We're expecting Raptor to come out in Q2. Well, he wasn't going to be in the session until Q2, but he's in now, so maybe he's getting a bite to eat or something. So just finished up the D2 race. Victor Diaz also yet to set a time, maybe saving his tires here. But I don't know.
Going around, Victor is on a hot lap right now. He's gonna come up on some traffic as he finishes up sector 2 here.
Let me try to find Victor. There's Victor. All right, we found him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you'd feel safe here. I mean, if you look at P16, Jack Pemberton in the transfer zone, in the the relegation zone there, he's only 2/10 off of Taylor, and also 2/10 off of P12. I mean, it's. I'd say if you're in the bottom 10 positions, you wouldn't feel safe right now. But all those drivers are in the pits, so they maybe setting up to come out and do one more run.
I was thinking somewhere around the 43.5 mark was going to be safe, but I don't know that that's actually the case. As Victor Diaz goes P3 with a 42.9, so he's right there, 2/10 off of Travis.
There you go.
2/10 clear of Peter. As we have an Alfa Romeo leaving the garage, that'll be Ricardo, so he's going to go and make sure his spot is safe. I don't think there's any danger behind Ricardo, but sometimes an extra few side-in laps is helpful.
Absolutely. Watching Taylor Carter in the other Alpine here. We just watched his teammate go up there and set P3. So see what Taylor can do. He's currently running P7, 143.2. He's about 4/10 away from the relegation zone. Might feel kind of safe, but again, with these drivers, every one of these drivers is quick. You don't want to play it too cautious. If you've got, maybe go out on the scrub set of softs and just try to take advantage of the extra rubber on the track. Try to just maybe improve by a 10th or 2. I think he's off a lap. He's not even on a hot lap. So I'm gonna jump over to Lee Hall, who just started a flyer in the McLaren. Is starting to see some drivers come out of the pits. Yep, MVA, Joe Guron, and Raptor are all on the track now. Gator's on track as well on his out lap. But Lee Hall is flying up through Eau Rouge, down the back straight. He might get a tow, slight tow off of, I think that might be Victor in front of him. Victor's going to pull off to the side.
So right behind them, the time to watch next will be Joel. Joel and Duncan setting up a nice tow here. So I'll keep an eye on that while you keep an eye on Lee Hall and let you know how Joel's going so far. They've got that tow set up perfectly. He's all over the back of Duncan. Duncan will just kind of peel off and let him carry on with the lap. But the tow's powerful right there. It's a good 2 to 3/10 on the lap.
Lee Hall looks like he's barely holding on to that car. He's sliding all around. Got a good look at those cool helmet, though. Got cool roses on the back of it. Thought it was pretty neat. But he is working his way around up through Sector 2. We'll get a sector time here in a second when he comes out of the next couple corners, see if he's improving or not. But that McLaren does not look very stable under him at this point. Still looks fast, though. He's up 2/10 on his fastest time. But that thing has so much oversteer. Almost lost it going through turn 16 there.
He was a 114.5. Joel's coming around to finish out sector 2. We'll see how far off they are. And Joel's going to run about the same as he goes a little wide, 115.3. So he's 8/10 off of Lee right now. So
that'll keep him down in the bottom 5 in the relegation zone as Lee Hall does improve. 143.1. The track must be getting a little bit quicker. Let's take a look at Joel down here in P19. His only lap he's going to get in the session, I think. He does have time for another one if he wants to take the softs around for a second run. Let's see, does Joel Guron get himself out of the He does not get out of the relegation zone down there in P18. He's got to go for another one.
I don't know if he has the fuel to make another one, though. Looks like the battery charge. He's still got a little battery he's using. We'll see.
Taking a look at Raptor come up through Eau Rouge on his hot lap. He's going to try. He's going to have maybe, he's got one for sure, maybe a second lap if he can get around in time.
Like we also have the Astons coming through the bus stop chicane now, setting up a tow for themselves, trying to get Jack Pemberton out of that bottom 4.
Keep an eye on that as well. Let's see, is Joel Guron on another flyer as well? Looks like he is. I think he's still pushing. So Joel Guron and Raptor both in the relegation zone here. Raptor, looks like that Haas is hooked up at the moment. He is flying.
Keeping an eye on NVA down at P19. He just keeps having traffic. He invalidated his lap, so it doesn't look like he's going to have a chance to improve. He's barely got enough time to make it around to the start-finish line.
I'll tell you what, Raptor's car looks so much more stable than Lee's did, so I'm going to just go off that look alone. I'm expecting Raptor to get out of the relegation zone here as we are at 30 seconds left in the session. You don't want to be in the bottom 5. So the first driver across the line is going to be Raptor. Let's see what he can do. Up to P9. That looks safe for now. 143.2. Next driver across the line, I think maybe either Sid or Joel.
Joel went into the pit, so it will be Joel.
Here comes Sid. D2 standout, making a run in D1 in the Alfa Romeo. The time is out on the session. Hot laps will count. Will Sid get out of Q1? Of course he will. It goes up to P4.
Boy, Sid, nice lap. Here comes Jack Pemberton up through Sector 3. Got a nice tow. He's up half a second on his last lap as he comes up to the bus stop chicane. Nice and easy, down to 2. Get on the throttle a little earlier than you think as you go uphill to that left-hander.
And Jack Pemberton comes across the line and pushes Gator down in the relegation zone. Let's see, who's next? Jordan or Shag? I think Jordan's going to be the next one across the... actually, no, take that back. Nope, Jordan is Jordan. So Jordan's going to be in the Alpha Tower. He's got to try to get that Alpha Tower out of the relegation zone. Nice and clean through the final chicane. Is he going to push Jack Fletcher down? And he does. Jordan goes to P2. Jack Fletcher is now in the relegation zone.
Jack was up 2/10 finishing out Sector 2, so we'll see how he can finish out right here as he comes across the line through the bus stop chicane. Easy on the power.
Jack Fletcher moves up P7. That's going to push Tom down in the relegation zone. One driver left. That's Shaggy Muffins. Excuse me, 2 drivers. And NVA. I think NVA is actually on a... NVA is not on a flyer. He's going to settle for P20. Shaggy Muffins is also off the pace. So there you have it. Tom, Gator, Shaggy Muffin, Joel Guron, and NVA. Your 5 drivers knocked out in Q1. Everyone else advances. Bob Loblaw, surprisingly, the driver on the bubble here, barely made it through by 0.003 of a second. Wow.
So I want to see what the interval is. I have it on the fastest lap. And... oh, it's not going to show me that. So 2/10 to Travis Robinson, 4/10 to Victor Diaz, half a second to Sid in P4, and 6/10 to Lee Hall. That's how tight all this is. Everybody is within 1 second of the leader right now.
Yep, D1's a tight grid, and I think it's getting a little bit faster too, because we know how fast Ricardo is. The fact that he can, the rest of them are keeping up with him. I think it just goes to show you how fast these drivers are.
So the obvious strategy here is go out on a set of mediums, set a banker, kind of keep an eye on things, maybe take one more lap on the mediums, and if you're desperate to get through into that top 10, that's you're gonna have to go out on a set of softs if you feel like you're off the pace. But the medium tire is the strong one around here. You can make it about 15 laps or so on those. So the strategy is either go soft medium, or medium hard, depending on how you feel about the hard tire.
So we're going to expect a lot of these drivers to run the medium tires in Q2 just to get that advantage in the race, and then save the softs for Q3 for the start advantage. Ricardo T, Travis Robinson, Victor Diaz, Sid in 4th, Lee Hall in 5th, Peter Giordano down in 6th place, Jack Fletcher, Duncan McCamick, Ranger, and Taylor Carter round out your top 10 for Q1 as we head to Q number 2. Always a threat of rain here, and always wonder, what sessions are we going to see it with four sessions across the weekend here. It's bound to show up in one or two. So
absolutely, it seems like we've gotten really lucky in Division 3 with not much rain. It seems to hit D2 the hardest, so rain's right in between the 3 divisions, and that's fine. I'd rather race in the dry. The wet can be fun, but I don't want to do it all the time. We may here in a second get a chance to talk to the Red Bull engineers and see what their plan is now with only one car left in qualifying. Go see if I can round up Cole real quick.
Okay. Good time to go grab a bag of tater chips or anything else you want here for tonight. Cold beverage, whatever you need. As we see one of the Mercedes, it's like Ranger's going to come out of the pits first, but he's at the far end of the pit lane, so he may not be the first one on track by the time he gets down there. Got an Alpine, a McLaren, and another Mercedes behind. Yep, first on track is going to be Ranger for Q2. This is where it's going to get tight. We saw the pace difference for the drivers in Q1. A tenth of a second is 3 or 4 positions here. So you got 15 minutes to set the fastest lap that you can, but you also got to start it. You got to do it on the tire you want to start the race on. So if you're feeling comfortable, you might want to put the McLarens on, or put the medium tires on. If you're feeling more, a little more risky, then put the softs on.
Well, speaking of strategy, we had a great visit from an engineer in the previous race in D2, and right now we have Cole Cummins with us, and Cole or is it Cole Horner, Christian Cummins? I'm not sure. With only one car left in qualifying, all the focus is on Duncan McCamick. So what do you think is going to happen here in Q2?
Yeah, some people call me the young Christian Horner, the young, anything Horner, but that's that's just how we do it. So for Duncan here, it's sad that Joel is out of it. We were really counting on him, and we tried to give him a tow there at the end, but it just wasn't enough to push him through. We're kind of hoping Duncan can beat out some more people here. But just, I don't know, man. Some of these people are fast. Ricardo over here, he's fast as hell, dude. That guy, is he esports? Is he just a fast dude just coming out of nowhere? Is he hacking? No one knows. He's just crazy. So our strategy is really just, see where Duncan goes, and then we're going to make a decision after he places and where we go from there.
So we expect everybody to kind of go out on the mediums here. Are you guys thinking the same thing?
I'm going to be honest, dude. I'm not sure what Duncan wants to do here. I didn't get to talk to him about that exactly. I think he wants to go for softs and just try to get a highest placement as he wants.
Okay, well, we'll see how it plays out. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So Duncan McCamick is out on track on soft tires at the moment, so maybe he's not feeling quite as safe as he wants. But I think the field's about evenly split right now. You got some drivers on softs, some on mediums. First one on track, though, in the Mercedes is Ranger. He's on the soft tire. And he actually had a little lift right there through a Rouge. Don't expect to see that, so maybe this is just his banker lap. He wants to get something in, not crash the car. Let the track rubber up a little bit and see what he can do next time around.
I was kind of going through some conversations here. It looks like Victor Diaz got disconnected. He's rejoined the session, so I'll explain why he's still in the pits. Just kind of trying to get a feel for what everybody's thinking, and everybody's pretty radio silent right now as far as wanting to share strategy, and I'm kind of surprised to see the split between softs and mediums.
I'm pretty sure Ranger may have invalidated coming out of the no-name corner there, but he's still on it. So
yeah, I can confirm the track has turned red.
Oh, that's how you check. I never knew that. Awesome. Okay, so let's look at Ian then. And the other Mercedes who's running he's running that line that I love. As he heads into Pool Hall, he's on the medium tire.
Appears to have it hooked up pretty well. I am privy to a lot of Mercedes strategy, and I know that Ian was banking on a dry race. He was running much lower wings to reduce that drag force and really, tap into the power of the Mercedes in the straight line.
He looks mighty quick right now as he heads up the long straightaway up toward Blanchimont. Jack Pemberton's going to set the first time to beat. It's a 1:44 flat. We will expect times to come down from there. But Rivas, again, I'm not a meteorologist, but it's getting darker out there, so maybe getting hazier. Usually when that happens, we start to see some little bit of moisture in the air.
Absolutely, and these drivers are hoping that's just some transient clouds that are just coming to watch the race for a minute, and that big F1 heat wave is going to push them on out of there. But, man, imagine setting a great time, getting to choose your tire, and then it just gets wet after that, and it becomes a disaster. As Ricardo goes fastest, pipped immediately by Duncan McCamick. Cole said that there was a chance that Duncan just wanted to go as fast as he could, and he gets in by 0.8 there.
Duncan not playing around in the 142s on the soft tire. Wants to go to Q3. Got the job done so far. Let's take a look at Raptor here.
Shout out to Adam Klein in the chat.
There's Raptor in the...
You're hazy, man. Not the screen. It's you, PBJ.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Not going to lie. But I think Raptor had a moment there going through Lacombe. And he has another moment trying to get it sorted back out. Going the wrong direction. You don't want to go that direction too far, Raptor. He's trying to back it up. Yep.
I saw one of the Red Bulls in the D2 race get spun around, pointed the wrong direction, and disqualified. That's
right. So Raptor yet to get a time on the board. Let's take a look at, let's see Victor Diaz, what he's got going on. He starts a flyer.
Bob Loblaw coming through the bus stop and is about to set his first time on a set of softs. He's a little bit off the pace, going to go about a 44.
And Lee Hall is retired. 48. Lee Hall has lost it coming out of turn 16. Did not get a good time on the board, so he is going to be one driver out of D2. So now we're looking for the bottom 4 beyond him.
Oh, and he's still on the track. He's blocking a portion of the track. If you get on board with Jordan Angus, I believe.
I think he's passed now. Yeah, it looks cleared.
Yeah, just cleared it. It's funny, we had the exact same thing happen in the Division 2 race. We were on board in quali, and one of the Mercedes drivers comes around the corner, and there's a McLaren just parked right there. And so, deja vu.
Yeah, it'll happen sometimes, but watching Jordan
went really fast, but had a lot of wheel spin coming out of the bus stop there.
There's still quite a big gap. I mean, you think the drivers would be down in the 142s. There's still got a lot of guys in the 143s here. So Peter Giordano is making his first tour around the circuit as he loses it through Lacombe, goes around, lost it under acceleration there, and he's sitting in the kitty litter facing the wrong direction. He's going to rejoin the track here.
Still 7 minutes to go. No reason to get in too big of a hurry, but we got to get it around. I can't tell if he has any wing damage or not, but that'll definitely slow you down through this sector.
Victor Diaz puts a lap on the board, moves up to P8, 144.2. So now we're looking for. Let's see what Ranger's doing here in the Mercedes. Ranger working his way around. He takes the conventional line down to the pool hall here. Nice and clean through there. And Raptor's out of the session.
Oh no, Raptor.
Raptor lost it through campus, and I don't know who that is coming up on him. I think maybe Jack Pemberton, maybe?
Pemberton, yeah.
Hey, he's off to the right side there.
Spun around, facing the wrong way. That's a disappointment. Well, so now the good news is for the bottom three, it's just between the three of you. You don't have to worry about anyone else coming and fighting you for those spots. So you got two cars that are no longer a threat. So you just got to focus on what you can do. You expect Travis Robinson, when he comes out of the pits, to go out and set a banger of a lap. Peter obviously will go much faster once he's able to figure out what's going on with his car and get his tires cooled off.
Yeah, I think Peter's he did a little charge up lap there. He's putting it out right now, heading down the long straightaway to Lacombe. Looks nice and tidy through there. Peter Giordano, obviously one of the faster drivers in D1, last season's division champion. Trying to take it to Q3. He's got to get a little bit faster. Probably once they get into the 143s is probably the only place you're going to feel safe right now.
Going to find himself quickly on top of Taylor Carter ahead of him, who's on an out lap. So hopefully Taylor and his team keeping an eye on that and not going to hold him up at the end of Sector 3 as we approach the bus stop.
And Peter's out of the session. Peter lost it through, came out of campus, lost it over the curb, and just nosed it into the tire wall, sitting perpendicular right on the middle of the track. That's going to kill, looks like maybe Ian coming up, or Ranger. Yep, he's going to have to slow and go around and tiptoe there. What a moment for Peter Giordano. I hope he's okay. That was a scary incident as the car gets cleared. So now we have 3 DNFs in the session. That leaves 2 drivers not to transfer. Right now it's Travis Robinson and Taylor Carter. Travis yet to set a time, or yet to coming out of the pits right now. Taylor Carter's on a flyer though. Let's hop on board with him.
Ranger invalidated right before he came upon Peter, so no, it looks like he's going to push again right now. He's deploying a lot of battery. I probably would have backed off on that battery and got a little bit of recharge.
Look at Taylor Carter getting a slipstream from Travis Robinson down the back straightaway here. Man, Travis helping him out all the way down the straightaway there to help Taylor get out of the bottom two cars here.
The ACC Ferrari teammates working together there.
You'd like to see it.
A little cross-pollination, if you will.
You know, it's not normal to see drivers in D1 DNF in qualifying. It just goes to show how hard they are pushing because they know how tight the field is. I mean, maybe if you're going to see him DNF, you'd see him in Q3, but not in D2 or D2 Q2, and
especially on a track like this where these drivers are all familiar. They've driven this track how many hundreds of times. Yep. It's not like it's a brand new track. We don't have inclement conditions. We're not trying to set times on wets in the dry or do something silly like that. So it's really kind of shocking to see 3 in Q2.
Taylor Carter went purple in Sector 2. He's on a flyer here. That's going to put, I think, Sid and Victor Diaz at risk here. Victor Diaz sitting in the pits. Taylor Carter is going to jump up P2 with a 143.3. That's a great lap from him. Victor Diaz now on the bubble, sitting in the pits. He's going to want to get out and set a time unless he's feeling pretty safe. But let's check out Travis Robinson here, who's just started his flyer. Currently down in P12, second in the championship.
Jack Pemberton will be on next to set a time. He's right there on that bubble in P9. He needs to improve his time so he doesn't get pushed further down as he goes into the pits. So he must have invalidated, and I didn't see it. So not looking good for the Aston Martins right now.
Now Aston Martin's got to figure something out here. So does Travis Robinson. Takes a wide line through the Brussels hairpin there. Got to keep it on the track. Don't want to invalidate. Runs really wide there coming out of the no-name corner, but keeps it on the circuit. Everybody doing a good job of getting out of his way.
The mark you're looking for here as you end Sector 2 is around the 113 mark. That'll let you know you're up really good on your lap. And he's going to be just shy of that, about a 114.5, but he's down up a whole second on his previous time. Put him at a 43.6 if it holds sway, which would run him about P4, just behind Ricardo.
And Victor Diaz and Jack Pemberton are both still in the pits, so it's really up to Sid and Travis Robinson here. Travis Robinson, unless he has a big moment here in the chicane, should be well into the top 10. Running the soft tires to boot, so yeah, Travis Robinson goes P2, 143. Let's check out Sid. Sid's going to come out of that's good. Well, yeah, Travis bumped Victor Diaz down in the relegation zone there. Let's see if Sid can bump Jack Pemberton down in the relegation zone. And he does. So that's it. That's it. There's nothing else to prove. The bottom two drivers are determined. Save the tires, come into the pits at this point.
So Jack is actually up on his current lap right now. Jack Fletcher, as he comes around, is up half a second. Don't know how much that's going to help him. He might be able to get P8 here. And he goes P3. So what do I know? Attaboy, Jack Fletcher.
Jack Fletcher showing the Ferrari still got some pace. Takes it up to P3. But at this point, yeah, really, there's the hot laps don't even really count anymore because your bottom two are decided. But sometimes you don't know that in the car, so you're going to keep pushing. Especially people like Ian. You just don't want to DNF. That's the risk now, is you don't want to put the car in the barrier needlessly. So Ian's coming around.
Did Ricardo set his previous time on the softs? Because he is flying right now on those mediums.
I don't know, but
he's about to cross the line right now, and he is up. I can't really tell by how much, but so just two hundredths. So he'll stay P7, but he'll be getting a start on those medium tires, which he'll want to do. He can make those last a really long time. The guy's really good at taking care of tires.
Look at Krager coming through with a 142.3. Ian showing up finally and saying the Mercedes is ready to play. That's the fastest lap we've seen all weekend.
That's a really great time from Ian, and hopefully he can hold that form for the next 2-3 minutes and do that again in Q3 and just absolutely fly with these guys.
Here comes Bob Loblaw on the pass. Almost ran in the back of Travis Robinson there on his cooldown lap. That was really close. Here comes Bob. Can he improve? He does not improve, but it doesn't matter. He's still P10 anyway. I think Sid and Jack Fletcher are both on cooldown laps, so, yep, they're both coming in. So there you have it. Q2 in the books for the Belgian Grand Prix. Drivers knocked out in this session: Jack Pemberton, Victor Diaz, Peter Giordano, Lee Hall, and Raptor. And Rivas, I don't know about you, but the big surprises there for me, Raptor and Peter Giordano did not expect that to happen for them.
Yeah, I didn't either. And I had a good feeling about Victor Diaz. I mean, he's right there on that cusp. I thought he might be able to get ahead of Ranger there. Ricardo actually, granted, he is on the mediums, and they're a half a second slower, but he's down 1.2 seconds right now to Ian on the softs. The softs typically not that much faster.
No, but yeah, it's the pace is crazy. I mean, look at the splits between these guys. Soft tires, medium tires, kind of mixed in along the way, but look at the best tire. Yeah, Ricardo did set his best lap on the medium tire. And so did Victor Diaz, but Victor didn't make it through. So everyone else is on the softs.
So we're getting from broadcast control, Tyler's letting us know about 20% less on your mic and a little extra on mine would be helpful.
All right, we can do that.
So thank you for Tyler and his technical expertise and his bionic ears.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty specific amount of gain, so I trust that he's calibrated. Good to go.
That's what we need for sure. Let me pull me down a little bit. How about right there? And then Rivas, go ahead and say something else for me real quick. Let's just check the meter here.
Something else for me real quick. Bob Loblaw still driving around. I'm not sure why he didn't go into the pits there.
Let's see how that sounds. Give us a check in the chat if you think that sounds a little bit better. Didn't have much time to set this up. We came right in from the D2 race today, so hard to prep. Doing the best we can. Much better we got. Cool. All right.
So looking through the chat on the stream, and Labib says, you get demoted to D2 if you don't make it to Q3? You had your little mix up earlier. When you go from Q3 to D2. That was a good catch.
I get my Qs and my Ds mixed up all the time. It's getting late.
But Jam Ranger, much better audio, so thank you for that. Campbell also telling us much, so that fix was good. And so Tyler, thank you for that, and thanks for those of you that are audio checking us.
Yep. So there's your top 10 heading into Q3. Ian Krieger in P1, Duncan McCamick, Victor Diaz, pair of Canadians, Travis Robinson. Rivas is getting late. I can't do this. Jack Fletcher, Sid, Taylor, Jordan, Ricardo in P9. That was really close. And Ranger down in P10. Drivers knocked out in the relegation zone. Bob Loblaw, Jack Pemberton, Peter Giordano, Lee Hall, and of course Raptor in P15.
Well, the good news is, here in about 10 minutes, you'll be able to get yourself something to drink and some tater chips. We got one more section of qualifying to go, and this one should be real exciting. And as close as that was, it's going to be even closer here because these guys are going to be pushing because they want to be out front. They want those first 3 spots because that is as clean a getaway as you're going to get into turn 1 with all these cars bunched up. These guys all drive clean, but all it takes is a little bit of wheel spin, a little bit of a bump, and then safety car on turn 1. Something crazy can happen in any race.
Can you believe I'm all out of tater chips? I can't believe it.
Okay, stop the race. We have to recover somehow.
I gotta go. I know, man. I'm struggling over here, but it is Q3. Here we go. Drivers, track looks pretty dry. It's always a good start.
So based on that performance, I think my prediction would be Ricardo, Travis, Ian for your top 3. Anything in there that would surprise you if that was not the case?
I've got Ricardo, Ian, Travis on my little score at home book here.
Interesting.
I think
okay.
Ian's got crazy pace this week. He ran this track obviously very well last season. I mean, Travis is quick too. I mean, we're talking a tenth maybe over both of them.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but Ian's shown he's got pace. He's hungry. He's ready to go. It's been a while since we saw him have a good finish. A lot of bad luck recently for him. So here we go.
Interesting disadvantage here for both Duncan and Jack Fletcher, because neither one of them have a teammate to tow them around. Everyone else has a teammate in the session with them. So those two might have to find a way to hook up and help each other out because everyone else is going to be trying to work those tows. Duncan's going to be by his lonesome, Jack Fletcher by his lonesome, and you're going to have to rely on other teams.
Got to do it the old-fashioned way sometimes, and I'll try to pick up who's first on track here. Maybe I'm just too colorblind. There it is. Okay, Sid is your first car on track in the Alfa Romeo. Looks like he's running soft tires. Everybody's on soft tires at this point.
Interesting that Taylor Carter just now came out of the pits, that he and Victor didn't kind of work that together. Because if you want to work out a tow with your teammate, a good time to do it is when if you look at the track map, right there where that 3 is, halfway through Sector 3, that's about the time you want to come out of the pits, and that way you guys kind of time it around turn 1, and so that way you're going up through Eau Rouge and Radion onto the straight together.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's pretty much spread out. Duncan McCamick's holding the back of Jack Fletcher down there. Let's see if he gets a tow. I'm going to actually hop on board with Duncan here because he's close enough where it could be an issue. So let's just take a lap with him as he follows Jack Fletcher around and maybe even goes for the overtake into Lacombe. But no, he's got a pretty good gap here. So everybody's on their flyers. Let's see what we can do. Nice and clean through the source there for Duncan. Man, that pit wall gets me every time. It's so close on the right side. Duncan taking the little wider entry to Eau Rouge there. And Jack Fletcher's well enough down the road to not be an issue here.
Well, keep an eyes on Sid while you're watching Duncan. He's coming through Puhan now. He looks really good. The car looks really hooked up. And he has a couple of Mercedes right behind him that are going to be ready to set up the tow on their next laps. Sid comes through Sector 1, sets a 1:14.7, so he's right on the pace we'd be expecting.
Up the hill, all the way to Blanchimont, around the corner, to the chicane that was put in back in 2007 when they redid the circuit to help modernize it for the current Formula One state. And up the hill to La Source. First time on the board, 143.1 for Sid. Good time to start with. Second car across the line is going to be Ranger, who goes faster. I think Ian's going to be third here. Yep. Comes out of the hairpin, or comes out of the chicane. He's going to do fastest of all with a 142.4. That's a flyer. Here comes Jack Fletcher across the line. Let's see what Jack can do. He's going to go P4 with a 43.5. Duncan McCamick is in the pits. Must have invalidated his lap there. Let's see who's next. I got a Ricardo and the 141s. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my. I don't. How do you. I don't get it. It's just levels, right? Just different levels. That's an incredible lap.
We call him the alien for a reason. He is on his own planet and his own speed, and that time is a solid time. But he may even go even faster on his second run. Let's see what Taylor Carter can do down here. Coming in the chicane. He's going to go to the pits. That's everybody's first run. Travis Robinson looks like he's going to... Oh, he's going the wrong direction again. Having trouble with the AlphaTauri getting it warmed up. He's on his out lap, though, so maybe just a little too aggressive trying to get those tires warmed up.
He's going to let Victor through. Victor's recharging right now after he set his lap, so he's on an in lap to go pit and kind of sit and see what happens. Don't think we're going to see any more times come on the board anytime soon.
Nope.
So sort of the boring part of qualifying. Everybody goes out and does a real good lap, so see what they can get on the board, and then discuss strategy with the team and try to go again. Actually, it looks like Jordan Angus is on a push right now. Jordan Angus down there in P6, the other AlphaTauri, coming up on this lap traffic here. Not going to be his favorite thing as he goes purple in Sector 2.
Jordan Angus in the AlphaTauri making a second run here.
Might get a little bit of a tow down towards the bus stop.
Yeah, we don't see that too often because the tires aren't as good the second lap. They lose a little bit of performance, but he is going a little bit faster here. Let's see what Jordan can do coming up through the chicane. Maybe he can improve a little bit. Gets a little bit of wheel spin coming out of the corner. He does improve. He moves up one position.
P5.
Takes Sid, yeah. That little 1/100th of a second moved him up a position. That's what we were saying, how tight the field was going to be. But right now, I mean, your top three, Ricardo's on his own planet. Ian and Victor are only two drivers in the 42s.
Like Duncan's coming out by himself right now on his out lap. He's going to be behind, is it Sid? No, it's Ricardo. So Duncan hoping he can catch up to Ricardo. He appears to be on an end lap. He's recharging that battery right now. No, I'm sorry. That's Sid I was watching. Sid. I'll undumb myself now.
Yeah, I'm watching Sid as well. Looks like he's going to start one here or finish one.
That fuel light is on, so he is hoping to...
He does improve. He goes into 42s. P4 for Sid at 42.9.
So doing Alfonso Luis a good favor, getting him up into a good position to start the race. So Alfonso will be happy that his seat was filled by the mighty Sid. Keep an eye on Duncan here. I don't know that he can catch up to Sid to get anything that'd be relevantly called a tow. So he's going to be trying to run just that clean air by himself and just really head down, focus, and see what he can do.
Duncan McCamick on a flyer, trying to get a time on the board, invalidated first time around. This is going to be his only shot to do it on fresh, soft tires. Nice and clean through the Brussels hairpin there. Such a cool look with the rubber shining off the track there. Nice and wide.
Invalidates.
Oh, he did invalidate. So he will have time to come into the pits, put another set of softs on if he has them, and then maybe come out for another run. So he's got to be nip and tuck. He's got to get back to the pits as soon as he can.
I almost wonder if he's thinking I've got to go again because it's going to be, another 45 seconds into the pit, sit there for a minute, then make it around. And he's only got 3 minutes from right now to start the lap. And he's recharging his battery currently, so he's already back to full on the battery. No fuel light on, so I think he may go ahead and try to push a second lap here.
I think you're right, Rivas. I think he's getting ready to get the tires reset, battery reset. He's going to make another push. Looks like Sid may be on a flyer ahead of him here, though. And Sid just took his nose off going into the pit wall.
Oof.
But survived another day. So let's go back on Duncan here as he starts a flyer. Attempt number 3 for Duncan McCamick to get a time on the board. Let's see what he can do. Pressure's on now. You're not going to get another attempt after this.
So nearly a sector ahead of him, Travis Robinson trying to do the exact same thing. Surprising to see Travis not set a time yet, but he did have that incident earlier.
Yeah, expecting Travis up in the top 3 like we said at the top of the session here.
And before he does that, Taylor Carter is still on his outlap, so that'll... And I'm showing Travis on an outlap, not a timed lap.
Duncan using every bit of the road. He runs a little bit wide through the Brussels hairpin there, trying to carry as much speed coming in. This is where he keeps invalidating. Can he keep it on the track this time? He does. Heads down into Pouhon.
It was one of those things, he takes it through there and just prays that white line's a little wider than it needs to be. And there was just enough white line there to keep it in within the track limits.
But you still got to finish the rest of the lap. Sometimes as a driver, when you have multiple invalidations like that on one turn, once you get past it, you kind of relax a little bit and you make a mistake later on in the lap. So you tense up for that corner, trying your best to keep it on the road. But looks pretty clean through here, so let's see what Duncan can do. Couple corners to go.
Looks quick. Looks like he might have about a P5 in him here.
Jack Fletcher is retired from the session in Pouhon, but Duncan McCamick goes 143.2, so that's going to be P7 for him. Unless he wants to go around one more time. Might as well just try to get everything you can out of the Red Bull. Let's see what Ricardo's doing back here. Let's hop on board with Ricardo and just see how he does it. Nice and wide through the Brussels hairpin there. He runs that line we talked about down to Pouhon.
Taylor Carter and Ian both look like they're on flat out. Ian lets him through. Taylor's about to set his time finally. And he's quite a bit slower, but it's going to be a time on the board.
And Ricardo goes around. Ricardo is spun in Lacombe, or Campus, excuse me. I was just getting ready to say, Ricardo does not look like, the car did not look very stable at all. He was sliding and just really drifting that car around. I mean, that is fast, but you got to hold on to it. He didn't hold on to it there, so he is not going to improve. So as the session is over, hot laps will count. First driver coming is Rangers out of the session. Travis Robinson's going to be the first one out, and he doesn't have a time on the board yet. So let's see what Travis can do.
Hopefully he didn't get held up too much there when Ricardo had his moment, because Travis was right behind it, and so he's going to see those yellow flags come up and try to figure out what he needs to do, and a distraction like that can slow you down. But it looks like Travis will get about a 142.3, 142.6. So got a time on and top 4, so that's good. You're right there at the front and hopefully can peel away from the rest of the pack.
Next driver across the line should be Duncan McCamick, who's on his 3rd lap on those soft tires. Is he going to improve at all? He does. He goes P3 on a great lap on 3-lap-old soft tires for Duncan. Next driver across the grid is going to be, I think, Victor Diaz. Can he improve? And he goes up to P2 with a 142.9, almost breaking into the 141s. A little further back, we got 2 cars doing a slipstream on each other here. This is Taylor Carter and Ian. Ian's already taken the checkered flag. So is Taylor, actually. Yeah, so these laps actually aren't going to count. These guys are on cooldown laps. So there you have it. Your pole sitter for the Belgian Grand Prix, Ricardo T. put the lap in early at the beginning of the session, and that's all he needed to do. So Alfa Romeo on top, Ricardo T, 141.8. Victor Diaz in second, Ian Kreger in third, Duncan McCamick in fourth, Travis Robinson fifth, Ranger in sixth, Sid seventh, Taylor Carter eighth, Jordan Angus in ninth, Jack Fletcher in 10th.
Like Sid wanted to make a statement here and break up the Americans. We got a Mexican, 3 Canadians, and four Canadians and 4 Americans in your top 10. And then Sid says combo breaker right there in P7.
Combo breaker, that's right. So Sid is doing really good here. I mean, it's D2 driver filling in this week for Alfonso Luis, our championship leaders, and he's got a solid run. So as we move into the race session and try to figure out what the weather's going to be, and hopefully it's going to be a good show. So thanks for sticking around. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do it. If you haven't hit subscribe, make sure you hit that as well. Racing every Sunday night and Saturday night. D3 on Saturdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. D2, 8 o'clock Sunday night. And then D1 at 10 o'clock tonight. The fastest of the fast drivers.
Well, through that long qualifying session, I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I hope you're settled in, get you something cold to drink, put the kids to bed, and it's time to go fast.
As we get ready for the race session, let's go ahead and put a poll up in the chat here. The poll this week, do you think Ricardo can walk away with this win?
Hopefully he doesn't repeat his shenanigans from a few weeks ago in Mexico where he went first to last to first. Looks like it's going to be full dry for the session. May have some clouds moving in and a little bit of cooler track temperature near the end. Thank you to Josh Barnsley and Ranger for those weather reports. So DRS is very powerful around this track. So the main thing you're going to want to do right now if you're Ricardo is you want to get the biggest jump you can early on and start stretching out that gap to more than a second. Break away from the pack and let them all fight each other through those DRS trains. What we typically see is 1, 2, 3 will be close for a while, and then 2 through 5 will kind of start your first grouping of the DRS train, and then you'll kind of see 12 through 15 stacked up a little bit. And then through pit stop strategies, you're going to see people moving up and down the order. And main thing is keep it clean, keep it close, and use that DRS to your advantage, and try to make the tires last as long as you possibly can.
So our drivers working their way around, trying to get some heat in those tires, get them ready for the start of the race, get the brakes warmed up, get the tires warmed up. Let's look at the pit strategy one more time. Or look at the start tires. So Ricardo T on the medium tires, significant advantage, I think, at this point. Victor Diaz and the rest of the top 10 on the soft tires. A few drivers down at the bottom 10. You got Jack Pemberton, Lee Hall, and Raptor all starting the race on the soft tires further down the grid. I'm going to keep an eye on Raptor as he works his way up through the field here. I know he's quick, top 5 pace, I think, and he's just got to navigate the traffic. So Travis Robinson a little bit out of position, I think, down in P5. Expect him up in the top 3. But also Peter Giordano, another driver out of position, I think, down in P13. So going to be a fun one for sure.
I'm getting some information now from the Alpine garage. Victor Diaz was up almost 5 tenths on his lap going into the bus stop, and was just absolutely heart and stomach up in his throat, holding on for dear life, wanting to hold that, and just had a little mistake through the bus stop, and still managed P2, but was really hopeful to get pole there. Now, granted, there is a gap on the tire times there, but that would have been an amazing lap for Victor. It was a great lap, could have been amazing.
Absolutely. All right, so as we line them up on the grid, Division 1 Spa-Francorchamps. One of my favorite tracks. I just like saying it too. So watching Ricardo slide up into his position there as we try to find the best angle here. Oh, there's a good angle right there. Oh, it's interesting. If I change the driver, the tire strategy changed on the graphic. Anyway, so here we go. Start of the race. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Ricardo T gets a good launch. Victor gets a good launch next to him. Gets a better one as they head into La Source. Victor around the outside. Duncan Mechanic on that side. Victor's going to do the over-under and get Ricardo down the straightaway side by side as they head to La Source. Or Rouge.
Sid got absolutely smashed on that start. He was up in the air over the top of another car. Front wing gone, and I'm surprised he is not out of the session. Has dropped 13 spots at the start. Peter Giordano has dropped down to P19, 6 spots lost. Lee Hall is down in 18th, 4 spots lost.
Sorry, Rivas. Ricardo just went around the outside of Victor, taking the slipstream down the back straightaway. Lost a position through a Rouge, but he got it back down the straightaways. Meanwhile, Travis Robinson and Ranger going side by side. Travis is going to fall behind Ranger here as they head down to Brussels Hairpin.
What an awful start for those at the back, but what an exciting side-by-side racing right at the beginning. That tells you how close this whole race is going to be. As Jordan Angus just takes a spot from Ranger to move up into P7.
Got a Ferrari and a Haas going side by side through Pool Hall. I think that's Raptor and Jack Fletcher. Raptor takes the worst of that there, falls in back behind Jack. And I think Taylor Carter got around Gator behind him.
I have no idea how Sid is still in the session, but he still has it on the road and is right there in the back with Bob Loblaw, Lee Hall, and Peter Giordano. We've got a Jordan Angus.
Travis Robinson's out of the race.
Shaggy Muffin also out of the race.
Virtual safety car is out. Travis Robinson
Full safety car
is
now
out of the session. Safety car, yep, safety car is out. And looks like Travis Robinson off to the left side, maybe lost it coming out of Stavilo down there. Oh, heartbreaking for Travis. Shaggy Muffin as well, both drivers out.
So Ian early into the pits. We assume they bottom 4 that are left. So Bob, Lee, Peter, and Sid. So this actually works out for them because they're going to be able to get that repair done. They're going to be able to suck back up to the pack and go ahead and change out those tires from soft to mediums.
Absolutely. Gets a free pit stop here. But we're going to reset the order here. What a start. So, look, going back to the start for just a second, Victor got a great launch on Ricardo there. And both him and Ricardo got a great start, and they had the room for Victor to actually do the over-under in La Source for the first lap and took the position back. But then the slipstream was just too strong, and he lost it down in Lacombe. So those two swapping positions a couple of times on the first lap. And Duncan McCammett came flying in there, or around the outside of both of them, but stayed P3, and he's where he continues to sit now. Biggest winner on the start, though, Jack Pemberton, who started P12, is now up to P5. Raptor started P15, is up to P8.
A lot of big gains, and you hate to have that happen to your teammate. Jordan Angus up into P5, his teammates out. Taylor Carter up into P8, or I'm sorry, Gator up into P9, his teammate out. But Peter Giordano gonna have to do a back to front challenge. It's just been a rough night for him so far.
Yeah, just hasn't been able to get it figured out so far. Got a long race to go though, and plenty of opportunities to make moves happen. As the field's still pretty spread out here, probably going to go around another lap on the safety car here.
Oh, and of note, Lee Hall at the start cut the corner, gained a position, and got a 5-second penalty. That's already been cleared in the pit. So currently we have a clean penalty sheet at the moment, but that did cause him to lose another spot to Peter Giordano.
So Lee Hall is going to have to do a recovery drive as well.
We'll have one more very, very long lap under the safety car as the pack finally all sucks up together. It looks like Sid has finally caught up to the rest of the pack, and he's going to be looking to do a major push recovery drive here.
Quick check-in on our poll in the chat. 100%. Will Ricardo T get win number 3 today? 100% yes. So the fans believe that Ricardo's got the pace. He's just got to keep it on the track. We saw him spin it in qualifying, but he was obviously pushing there, so... Looking really good so far.
Ranger temporarily jumps to P1 as he goes into the pits. I'm not sure how that happens, but he's going to go ahead and put on some mediums, realizing that this is going to be a long stint. As long as everyone keeps it clean here, and it'd be better to be on the mediums than those softs.
Absolutely. Let's pull up our tires here so we can see what the drivers are running. Yeah, Ricardo's still on the medium tire up front. Everyone else on softs down to Gator and P9. Bob Loblaw, Peter Giordano down there in soft tires as well, the back of the field, taking the early pit stop and getting the tires.
So if everything stays clean and we have no more safety cars, that's an advantage to Gator, Tom, NVA, Joel, and Ian on those fresher mediums. They will not have to stop quite as early. And for Ian, because he has now already changed compounds of tires, he'll be able to put on another set of mediums. And so he can go medium now after he started on the softs.
That's right. Make it a one stop, or make it a one more stop anyway.
1.5 stop.
Yeah,
Safety car.
That's right.
Yeah, that was actually the strategy I was going to use in the D3 race. Is I started on mediums and immediately had to pit for wing damage after an Alpine gave me a little kiss from the side, and went on another set of mediums. And we had a fourth safety car, so I had to finish on a set of softs. But yeah, you can if you start on the softs, early safety car, go medium, golden.
Well, Revis, I know that wasn't the only racing you did this weekend. I know we got a little bit of time for the safety car comes in here. Tell us a little bit about the charity race you did on Saturday.
So Racers Without Borders is another organization. They're a group of just really casual, fun guys, but they're an enormous organization, and they like to, as a safety car is coming in this lap, so I'll wrap it up quickly. Spinaltrack.org was the charity that we raced for. We did 12 hours around Bathurst in Australia in GT3 cars. Really proud of my 3 teammates that carried me because I had equipment issues in the morning. But we actually finished the race. We started in P29, and we finished about the same position. The guys never gave up. They never gave in. So shout out to the Drip Israel, Dom Inman, and Lee Says for carrying that Aston Martin around through all of that. For a solid 12 hours, we ran that car. And happy to say Racers Without Borders raised over 3,000 pounds for Spinal Track. So spinaltrack.org, they help disabled people who want to drive race cars learn how to drive them with hand controls.
Awesome. Such a great race for a great cause. So let's jump back into this race here as Ricardo T is going to hold him up here, take the wide line in the chicane. And there he goes. Just a little bit of wheel spin on the launch, but he's going to keep it in front. Duncan McCammic's going to make a move on the inside of Victor Diaz here into La Source. Gets the move done, but Victor's not giving up yet. They're side by side as we head down the hill to Eau Rouge. Who's going to back out of it? It's like Duncan's going to back out and let Victor take the position there, but Duncan's going to have a run up the hill as they are now side by side, but also Jack Pemberton's going to get in this mix now as they are 3 wide down the Campbell Straight. Who's going to take the position? It's going to be Duncan McCammick, followed by, looks like Victor got the move, kept P3 over Jack Pemberton there. What a race.
Incredible control, incredible confidence, and incredible trust for those drivers. That's a spot where we've seen people get it all wrong, and they got every bit of it right.
Look at Raptor. Raptor just pushing his way through the field here. He just overtook Jordan Angus there. I think all 4 wheels on the curb going through the Brussels hairpin there. He is flying right now as he's got Jack Pemberton and Jack Fletcher in front of him. A pair of Jacks there. And he's keeping right up with him here. Haas looking very racy. Oh, he hit him. He ran in the back of him. That's not going to help the cause at all. We know Raptor's quick, but he's also a little rough around the edges sometimes with incidents. So as NVA
is out of the session. We have 1 Ferrari out, and that will be another
safety car. Another safety car. Yeah, it looks like Ian may have gotten involved in that as well.
Ian has dropped to several positions. He is down in P17, may have some wing damage. So I assume we're going to see our soft tire runners come in and pit onto mediums now. It looks like that's the case. Victor, Jack. A pair of Jacks, a Raptor who may have wing damage as well, even though it's slight. Taylor Carter also in. So we have 7 cars in the pits right now. Duncan McCammick on the soft side to stay out off the strategy of everybody else. So he's going to have to stop again within about 6 laps, give or take. Because about 10 to 11 laps is about all you're going to make on those softs under normal racing conditions.
The Alpines were double stacked there for a second. That's going to push Taylor Carter down a little bit in the order here. Victor Diaz comes out on top. Everybody getting on the pits, getting off those tires. Yeah, everybody's going to mediums. Bob Loblaw still out there on softs. Duncan Mechanic did not come in. So Duncan Mechanic sitting P2 right now. The only driver still running his original tires, which would be the soft tires at this point. Might not be in a good position knowing that everybody behind him just went to the mediums.
We do officially have a penalty on the board for Sid. I assume somebody got bumped during the safety car session. So good news for Sid is he's going to have to pit again. He'll get that cleared. But at that point, there's no way the stewards are going to reverse that decision.
Yeah, 5-second penalty. May want to go ahead and serve it now under the safety car. So we'll see what Sid does there. Still early in the race. You still recover from that. A lot harder to do it at the end of the race.
Yeah, I think I'd hold off on serving that right now if I were Sid. I think I'd stay out and wait for Bob and Duncan to pit and just stay on the normal pit strategy and serve it then. Just try to make up 3 or 4 more spots. But that's maybe where I'm wrong and I need to learn and need to improve. But I think that's how I would approach that.
Interesting. So I think, if I remember correctly, and I'm checking the schedule here to make super duper sure before I say anything out loud, but I think we have next week off, don't we?
There is nothing officially in the league schedule for next week. However, we have been kicking around ideas, so stay tuned to the channel. We may have some fun content for next week. Some ideas that have been thrown around: 100% Suzuka, 100% Imola, and a tournament style Battle of the Constructors. So Division 1, 2, and 3, getting one or all cars from each constructor and battling it out in player cars on track in a tournament style head-to-head 5-lappers.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And whichever constructor comes out with the most points gets bragging rights, I assume.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I may have to come back and get my F1 dusted off to get in on that. That sounds like a lot of fun. And, I saw a lot of drivers doing different things. We got a Forza league, or not a Forza group now in the league, and throwing around some iRacing ideas. And of course, we got the Assetto Corsa on Tuesday nights. So if you're not on the Discord, hop in the Discord, search for Zoom Racing League, hop in and see where all the action's at, and get into some of the action. There's going to be plenty of seats available. We have a good time. It's a good group of guys.
Yeah, and there's almost every night there's something going on. We're a very active league. There's always people on, whether, like you said, on Forza, ACC, F1. Occasionally, we're getting more and more people that are getting back into iRacing. We've got a lot of really accomplished drivers there that can help you learn the basics, learn the ropes, and help you get up to that D license and start really racing hard.
Absolutely. The 12-hour race was an accomplishment, especially you guys. When y'all did that, you had to do a driver change pretty much every hour, and that's a big deal. And it was a great cause. Congratulations on finishing that race. I know it looked like a lot of fun. When are we doing the next one? That's my question now, because I want to get in on some of that. That'll look like so much fun.
There's a couple that we're looking at, not specifically with that organization. They may not be charity races, but we got a lot of guys that can really stick it out and are quick. And so we'd love to have an opportunity to have some guys like you and Jack and Travis join in on the next one and
absolutely
see what we can do. Maybe not a 12-hour this time. That was a lot. I know there was a lot of hand and foot cramping. I got some shin cramps in my second stint. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to sit there and drive. It sounds silly, you played video games for 2 hours and you're tired. No, this is legit racing.
Nah, yeah, I mean, everyone's got their thing, right? Some people like fishing, some people like hunting, some people like video games, working on cars. I mean, everyone's got their hobby, and the cool thing about living in today's world is you have a chance to live that dream out, whether you can't race for real, but you can race on one of these. And yeah, it's a game, but you know what? The racing's real, and it's and Duncan just ran in the back of Ricardo behind the safety car. There it is.
Totally.
There it is. Duncan they were both weaving their tires, and Ricardo's kind of not really going at pace here. He's backing the field up, and Duncan ran in the back of him. I don't know if he got wing damage there or not. But
looks intact on screen, but the safety car is in this lap, so that's I don't know if that's a lack of awareness from Duncan. Got distracted for a moment, but you got to know that's coming.
Yeah, Ricardo's backing him up a little bit there in Duncan's defense, but here we go. Ricardo's going to try to leapfrog it. Duncan dives down the inside, overshoots the chicane. Got to give the position back. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3 positions on that restart. What happened there?
There. That was something, wasn't it? So Duncan, look on my screen, is back up to P2 with Joel right behind him. So he's going to drag Joel around the track. And yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was very strange. That's out of character for Duncan. So we may get a visit from Cole here shortly and try to find out maybe if he could tell us what happened on that restart.
Here comes Bob Loblaw around the inside of Gator as they head down to Lacombe. Who's going to win the battle as they head into the corner? It's like Bob's going to take the position. Duncan McCamick under attack, or excuse me, Joel Guron under attack from Tom. Let's talk about Joel Guron for a second. Started down in, I think, P19 or P18. He's up to P3 at the moment. Having a great drive as Jack Pemberton has an incident. Lose the position to Raptor down there, but yeah, Red Bull 2 and 3 at the moment.
And Joel, on the perfect strategy, you start on those medium tires, you pit around lap 12 or 13, depending on what Duncan's going to do. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 for Sid. Oh, poor Sid. Here's another incident for Sid. Looks like he is around. He's not moving in a wing off. Yeah, okay, now he's got it going again. But yeah, rough race for Sid.
Yeah, Sid's having such bad luck today. Started off well, just hasn't come together for him. Still a long race to go, though. As I'm looking at Bob Loblaw, I keep getting my Haas's mixed up here. Looking very racy over the back of Tom here, but he's used all of his batteries, so that's going to give Lee Hall a chance to kind of catch up on him here further back.
We're going to head over real quick to the Red Bull pit wall and try to figure out what happened there on that restart. It looks like Duncan had a bit of a moment. Cole, can you give us any insight?
Yeah, it's just all part of the strategy. Just slingshot past Ricardo and then have Joel somehow take advantage of it and then randomly just go forward and everyone slow down and Duncan get right back to where he was. We totally planned that one out. It definitely wasn't an accident at all.
Well, that explains it a lot better because we were very confused. You guys are going for the big brain strategy there.
No, in reality, Ricardo just took that. He slowed down way faster than we thought he would, and Duncan was not ready for it, and he just flew past him, and it was a total accident. But somehow worked out, kind of, other than the 5-second penalty. That was Duncan's fault before that.
Sure, and that'll get wiped out through pit stop, so I don't think that'll be a big deal for Ricardo. So, well, you got a Red Bull up, and you had 1-2. You're down to 2-5 or 2-3. You're down to 2-5 now, but. I feel like Joel's in a pretty good position to keep near podium positions.
Yeah, we're hoping Joel has done a good job. He started P18 here, so I'm really happy that he's back up to P5 and he's looking in a good position. Hoping he can hold up the field a little bit longer so Duncan can stay up too, because his softs are getting a little old here.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Cole. Good luck to the rest of the race.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
So Ricardo T.
Nice
Sorry, go ahead.
It's just kind of nice having a little bit of different insight. We're going to be working.
We got a Red Bull around. It is Ricardo's out of the session.
Oh no!
Ricardo is out of the session. There's a Red Bull around as well. That was safety cars out. Ricardo has lost it coming out of Stavolo, turn 16. He is done. I think the Red Bull that went around was Joel Guron. That's what I was watching live when Ricardo crashed.
Joel has dropped 7 spots. He was in P5. He's in P12 now.
Here comes Duncan in the pits to serve the 5 seconds and put a set of medium tires on. Whoa, lots of things just happened here. Let's reset everything if we can. So your race leader, Ricardo, crashed out, DNF'd. Duncan McCamick inherited the lead, and now he's in the pit serving his penalty, putting on another set of soft tires, actually. That's going to move Tom, the McLaren, up to the race lead.
Trying to see if I can get in touch with Ricardo, see if maybe we can get his take on what happened.
So it's only lap number 9. It's our third safety car of the race. 4 DNFs, but now it's anybody's race. We got Tom and Lee Hall, 2 McLarens, 1 and 3. Bob Loblaw up there in second place, getting a good run in the Haas this week. Gator in P4. The field kind of inverted at the moment. And you got some of our faster drivers, Peter Giordano, Duncan McCamick, Ian, all down midfield at the moment. Raptor down in P14. Jordan Angus down in P15. This is going to let Sid catch up and rejoin the race after his unfortunate incident there. But, man, at this point, this is anybody's race. Let me catch my breath for a second here.
All right, so quick chat off comms with Ricardo. He's not in the best of moods right now, and that's to be understood, of course. He said he just kind of overdrove it into the corner after the incident with Duncan and lost focus for a minute and just lost it. And, man, that's he's real disappointed right now, upset, obviously, but he's already looking ahead to next week.
Yeah, it's racing, man. That happens. You can't get them all sometimes, and I mean, that's a shock, though. I would not expect Ricardo to – I mean, of course, we didn't see the incident. We don't quite know what happened, but he mentioned the incident when Duncan kind of got him flustered a little bit. But, yeah, wow.
Just crazy. Just crazy
That's
stuff.
all you can say.
All three of our major championship contenders are now not currently in the race. So Alfonso Luis, our championship leader, is out. Our favorite to win everything right now, Ricardo T, is out. Travis Robinson, the young Canadian that's been on an absolute tear, just smashing dudes left and right, out. So now, going back racing with mostly old school, first season Zoom Racing League guys that have been here since the very beginning. The newer people being Ian and Ranger, but everybody else has been here basically since the rip. Taylor, I think, is Taylor and Gator are a little bit newer, but these guys, they're all quick, they're all great, and they got to be just absolutely salivating right now at those the potential big points that are up front.
Oh, man, the chances are huge. I mean, let's just look at, our race leader, Tom, for example, has yet to have a podium this season. Bob Loblaw down there in second place, yet to have a podium this season. Lee Hall, third place, yet to have a podium this season. I mean, it's anybody's race, and we're going to have a chance to see some fresh blood this week, get up there on the podium. But, I mean, you're still got 13 laps in this race, 2-minute lap time, well, minute 45 lap times, right? So you still got relatively 20-25 minutes of racing here. Plenty of time for folks like Ian to get back up there, Peter Giordano to get back up there, Jack Pemberton to get back up there. All of them. They're Raptor's still around. He's down in P14, struggling to get the positions, but let's go ahead and take a look at this tire strategy. There's been a lot of pit stops. Let's kind of reset everything on that. Raptor likes to be fast on the soft tire. He's got a fresh set. Jack Fletcher's got a fresh set of soft tires. Duncan Mechanic, fresh set of soft tires. Bob Loblaw's up there on 7-lapped-old softs in P2, so he's going to have to pit again. These medium tires, though, can you stretch these mediums to the end? I know Tom's got 9-lap-old, but let's talk about maybe Gator or Ranger. Or not Gator. Gator's got 9-lap-old as well, but Ranger and Lee was 7-6-lap. Can they go to the end?
It's going to be right there on the border. So the Aston Martins, Taylor and Ian, I think would have a better chance because right now you've got 3 laps ish under safety car, so you're not getting a lot of wear, not a lot of heat, maybe a little bit of graining happening. But yeah, I think those tires, if you're very careful with them, if you're somebody like a Ricardo who is obviously not in the race but can look after those tires, yeah, you can stretch them out. Because I made a set of softs the other night, last almost 11 laps. So you figure an extra 30 to 40% there, you're going to be pushing it as Lee Hall picks up a penalty under safety car, which is a strange thing to do.
On a restart, yeah. Nice clean start, though, from our drivers. Nobody really making a move through La Source. As we head down to Eau Rouge, hopefully the car stays under everybody. We haven't had any incidents in Eau Rouge yet. That's usually where we see them here, but so far it's been clean. It's all been coming out of Stavelo. That's where we've seen so many DNFs. Drivers trying to keep the foot flat through that corner, getting up on the curb and DNFing their way out of there, so hitting the barrier, but
that's got to be terrifying on the real track is Jordan Angus takes a spot from Ranger on the fresher medium tires down in P15. In the real cars, I can just imagine you have a little off, somebody drags some gravel back on the road there, and
Victor Diaz holding on to his car there barely. He's going to have Jack Fletcher or Jack Pemberton go around the outside into Pujon there. Now he's got Peter Giordano lined up behind him. Peter's got a run coming out of the turn. He's going to look up the inside. Going to get the move done. Peter Giordano moves up to 7th place now. As Victor Diaz down at 8th.
Aston Martin boys are flying right now, and they're going to give each other the benefit of the DRS. They'll probably just swap it back and forth and try to run away. As we have Jack Fletcher gets a penalty. Jordan Angus potentially had an off. Yeah, Jordan's falling back behind the pack down in P16. Local yellows only, and has the car back going again.
Bob's looking really racy here on Tom, as Lee Hall is looking really racy there with him. All three of them right on top of each other. Gators in that battle as well. Loblaw is using all of his battery all the way
Duncan
around.
McCamick is around. Duncan McCamick around right there, just out of the chicane. So he has dropped all the way down to P15. He's spun.
Oh, bad news for Duncan.
Ranger sees Duncan with a little bit of weakness, probably a little bit of hot tires, and is going to try to take that position from him.
Here goes a move for the lead. Bob Loblaw on the outside of Tom as they head into Lacombe. Going to get the move done by the time he gets there. New leader, Bob Loblaw in the Haas. Getting it done.
This might be the first time we've seen Logic leading. We've got a yellow right now. Ian is out of the session. P13 Ian is out of the session. Duncan McCamick takes that spot and try to ride with Jordan Angus and see what happened.
Oh, he lost it
in the wall. Yeah,
lost it through Lacombe on the left-hander, stuffed it in the barrier. No safety car, though. Looks like everybody's still underway okay. So we're going to continue on here.
So one thing about Spa, they've got really strong marshals. So four of them ran out there, grabbed that car, tossed it over the fence, and race on, boys.
That's what they do, man. Getting a little cloudy on the track again, and anytime I see that, I think rain. So I don't know. Never know. I'm keeping an eye on it. So I heard it's supposed to be dry, but Spa does Spa weather sometimes.
And even if it doesn't, just the cloud cover itself can drop the track into 3 or 4 degrees, and all of a sudden you can't keep temperature in the tires. And what you were taking flat out, you're having a little bit of lift, a little bit of earlier turn in, just to try to make it through those corners.
It is now raining. It is raining on the track. Jack Fletcher just made a move around the outside of, I don't know who it was. I think it was Ranger. But it is raining on the track. I see raindrops falling.
Ranger into the pits for enters. First one to say, nope, not going to mess with that. I saw that happen in the D2 race, and I'm not going to wait.
Here we go, boys. It's going to either get rain on the camera lens now, so...
We've got Ranger and Taylor Carter, first ones into the pit on enters, and so this is going to play very well into the hands of Bob Loblaw, who did not get off those softs too early. Got a good little gap he's trying to build here, and he'll dive in for some enters and try to keep that lead.
Oh, man, that's why he tried to drag it out. He had the forecast, and he saw it coming. I'm curious to see the pace of Ranger. It doesn't look quite wet enough yet for the intermediates, but make the early call. Sometimes it works out in your favor. We saw how quick it got, very, very wet in the D2 race.
We're also going to find out here if this is a lesson learned from Taylor Carter. If you remember all the way back to Canada when I called him out and like, what are you doing? Why are you waiting? You're on the wrong tires. And he finally put them on and got a little bit of pace back. Let's hope it's he made the right call by switching early here on this one. Kind of watching through the rest of the field, I don't see anybody struggling or going wide anywhere where they normally wouldn't.
No,
so it doesn't seem like there's enough moisture out there.
I don't think it's wet enough yet. And as the great Hunte told me a long time ago in D2, until you see the rooster tails, it's not wet enough for intermediate tires. But it is getting wetter for sure as Bob comes into the pits, race leader in the pits. And he's the only one, though. I mean, but that's
the Raptor is as well.
That's his strategy, though. He ran the softs till he needed the intermediates.
We got someone around at, is that Duncan McCamick around again? It is. Duncan McCamick having another, he's just slipping and sliding everywhere right now. And we have Taylor Carter, it looks like, might be in the wall. No, it's not Taylor. It's the, is that Victor Diaz?
Virtual safety car.
Yeah, Victor Diaz is without a front wing. So maybe a little wetter, a little more slippery than we suspected.
I think you hit that point where it becomes no grip, and you expect the grip to be there, but sometimes you don't know till you commit to the corner, and by then it's too late to make any adjustments. So, virtual safety car, 2 McLarens out front now after Bob had made the pit stop. But this, virtual safety car is really going to help Bob save track position here. But Bob actually went to the medium tires. He didn't go to the intermediate. So Bob Loblaw thinking it's not going to rain hard enough to go to the wet tires. And Peter Giordano gets a drive-through for speeding behind the virtual safety car. Oh, that's going to kill his chance to get back up to the front here.
Victor Diaz just cannot keep it on track. I think he is done. I think he's just going to pull over and retire it because he just can't keep any pace right now. He's barely keeping it moving, though. I think he's just letting everyone through because he knows he's so slow. 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits because he parked to get out of everyone's way. Stewards, of course, will take a look at that. Oh, wait, they won't have a chance because he has to pit to change that wing.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Victor. The game will get you sometimes, but that's we've seen it happen before. Interesting. I mean, Bob didn't go to the intermediate tires. Here comes Lee Hall into the pits on the medium tires. Are the McLarens going to double stack here? They are. Everybody's coming in now. Everybody's coming in to get off these tires. DRS is now disabled. The track is too wet for DRS, so onto the intermediates go Lee Hall. Jack Pemberton stays out on the medium tire.
So the McLaren double stack, I was trying to see if that was going to hold everybody up in the pits because occasionally the end of that car will stick out just enough that the game will see it as a hazard, not let people through. But it looks like everybody's through just fine.
So Lee Hall comes back out. First driver on the intermediate tires. He's going to come out come out behind Bob Loblaw here. And here's a good race to watch. Bob, they both made pit stop. Yeah, look at the pace difference. Lee just easily passing Bob there. But how hard and how long is it going to rain? Because I think Bob's expecting it to dry out. If it does, that's going to put him in a great position to win this race. But he's got to get there. He's got to survive. And right now, he's struggling on those medium tires.
I'm watching poor Jack Pemberton, who inherited the lead there with all the pits, and the field's just catching up to him. Like he doesn't have a chance to retain this unless he can get around into the pits, and he's going to lose several positions because he's so far off the pace.
Yeah, and Bob's dropping too. He just got passed by 3 cars there in the last 3 turns.
Peter Giordano also put on mediums, and he is getting passed left, right, and center as though he's not even there.
I don't think Peter Giordano pitted. Oh, he's showing 9-lap. Oh, it must be a scrub set of medium tires he put on then. Yeah, and Bob Loblaw's around. Bob Loblaw is spun in the campus chicane. And he's kind of stuck in the kitty litter. He's going to try to work his way back onto the track. It's all coming apart for Bob here. Not what he wanted.
It's like Jordan Angus just had a moment coming out of the Sector 1. Is bumping the wall and backing up, bumping the wall, backing up, and finally has it back going again. Got a yellow flag for a Haas. Is that Bob Still? That is Bob Still. So your new race leader is Lee Hall, second place, inherited by, actually now it's showing Ranger. All right, we'll give it a second to sort itself out. So we've got Lee Hall, Joel Guron.
Joel Guron back up front again. Joel's gone from last to first to last to second now. What a run for him. So we got
Joel's due for some good luck.
Yeah, he is. We got about 7 laps to go, if I did my math right there. Working lap number 16 of 22. Lee Hall with a 3-second gap over Joel Guron here. We're going to watch that interval. Ranger just made a move on Gator around the outside into Lacombe there. Up to the podium positions for the Mercedes.
Jack Pemberton elected to stay out on those mediums and has just lost a spot to Duncan McCamick and just cuts the chicane because it's just too wet to stay out on those. I'm not real sure what the plan was there. Miscommunication from the Aston Martin team.
Yeah, he's losing a ton of time right now, and it doesn't really warrant staying on those tires because you're losing more time than a pit stop's worth at this point.
Sid on a fresh set of softs, way off of everybody else's strategy at this point, but currently gaining on Jack Pemberton.
How hard is it going to rain? What's the duration? I mean, are we going to see full wets here? Because it looks pretty wet out there. Not seeing as many rooster tails as I did before, but it's still definitely raining, so the track's still getting wetter at this point.
That just takes the spot from Jack back to for P10, so Alfa Romeo will be happy there. At least they have one car still scoring good points at this point.
Well, Sid's on the soft tire for what it's worth, so maybe a little bit better grip in the rain, but those are the only two drivers on track right now running dry tires. So Lee Hall is pulling away from Joel Guron here. Just got to keep it on the track. We got a yellow in Sector 2.
Jack went off to make room for Peter to get through.
Okay.
He's going to be in the way. So, yeah, he's back on the road going. He's got a Bob Loblaw very quickly closing on his tail. He's got to get around to the pits and get those inners on.
Duncan Mechanics made a move on Jack Fletcher into La Source right there. Two OG D1 drivers battling it out here for P8. I think Jack's going to have a run on him through Eau Rouge here. That Ferrari's all over the back of the Red Bull. Will he have enough slipstream to make it happen? He's getting closer. He's going to look at, just like Duncan's kind of running in the middle of the track. He's going to force Jack to go around the outside, side by side into Lacombe. Side by side through the second part. Duncan's going to have the inside line coming out of the turn, but Jack's going to back out. They're still side by side heading down into the Brussels hairpin. Duncan's going to keep the position over the Ferrari.
Sid stayed out on those fresh softs. I guess they feel good enough for him, or he knows something the rest of us don't. But Bob Loblaw's closing that gap up behind him. Sid's not going to keep that position for too long.
I think Jack and Duncan here are both very similar pace in the rain. Duncan's not pulling away from Jack here. It looks so treacherous out there right now.
Still riding on board with Sid back here, and he about lost it here in Sector 2 through No Name, the corner just before it.
Yeah,
Brussels.
It's like Duncan and Jack are both catching Taylor Carter as well, even though they're battling each other. Trying to get their way back up to the top 5. Jack Fletcher runs a little wide through Blanchimont there, but still in the slipstream range here. And Duncan's closing up on, he's going to get a little bit of assistance, though, from Taylor Carter. We start lap number 18 of 22. 5 laps to go.
We'll run through the penalties real quick. Lee Hall in first with 3 seconds. Gator has 3 seconds. Raptor with 3 seconds. Taylor Carter in sixth with 3 seconds. Jack Fletcher has 6 seconds. Victor Diaz all the way down in P13 has 10 seconds worth of penalties.
Rangers gotten very close to the back of Joel Guron for second place here. It's Mercedes versus Red Bull. Ranger trying to keep up with Joel here, and close in. Can't use DRS in the rain. You got to do it with the old-fashioned draft and slipstream. Joel
Duncan's still got a lot of battery to attack once they get to the straight. Interesting to note, our top 5 all have moved up more than 10 positions. Looking at the position changes, 13 spots for Lee Hall, 17 for Joel Guron, 14 for Gator, 11 each for Raptor and Tom. So they've got to be real happy with their starting position versus where they are now. Of course, it helps when your race leader and 2 of the other really fast drivers go out, but you still have to keep control of your car. You still have to make good strategy decisions to make those places up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're stuck in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, you're still faster than 15 other cars, right? I mean, it's a good place to be. Got a yellow in Sector 2.
That looks like Sid.
Sid trying to make those soft tires work, but he's not getting much traction there at all. Going to get overtaken by Jordan Angus there. As Raptor overtakes Gator through La Source. Raptor on a drive here, trying to work his way up to the podium. He's only 2 seconds out. Let's see if Ranger can get the move done here. Ranger's going to look around the outside of Joel Guron. They're side by side heading into Lacombe. And makes the move happen. Good move by Ranger there. But Joel's not done. Joel's looking up the inside into the hairpin. He's side by side. They're gonna get the move. No, they touch wheels. Joel gets the move, gets the position back over Ranger. These two scrapping back and forth here. I don't think they're done either. Ranger's still all over the back of the Red Bull.
Yeah, it looks like I've got some pretty severe desync right now. I'm not seeing what you're seeing currently.
Yeah, I got Ranger all over the back of Joel Guron here. But now Raptor has caught both of them, and the Haas. Raptor showing its pace. Just got to keep the nose clean and keep it on the track. As he's going to put his move on Ranger, I think, before Ranger gets a chance to get back at Joel here. As we start lap number 20, you got 3 laps to go. Big wheel spin from Raptor there coming out of the chicane. I don't think he's quite close enough to make a move, but I do think Ranger is going to be in a good position here to get Joel Guron at the end of the straightaway again. We got a yellow in sector 3. It's a Ferrari around. Jack Fletcher has had a spin coming out of the chicane.
It's like his wing's intact and he's kept it going, so.
Here goes Ranger getting the slipstream. Again, Joel's kind of running the middle of the track. Ranger's going to go around the outside. They both take each other out. They crash. That's going to give Raptor P3. Unbelievable. Gator moves up to P4. Damage for both of those cars as Ranger has no front wing. Joel Guron, undoubtedly, he's missing the end of his wing as well. They were side by side heading into Lacombe, and they just came together and went off into the wall. Unbelievable. Raptor up to P2.
Bob's pitted for a set of softs. I'm still seeing a little spray. I don't know if the track's dried out that much, and Sid's still well off the pace.
It's still definitely raining. But maybe he's expecting it to dry out, and he's trying to get some positions here at the end.
And there's water just running down your camera right there on board with Raptor. I mean, I can't see how softs would be the idea right here, but.
It's Duncan McCamick looking to make a move on Taylor Carter as Ranger runs off ahead of him there, still working that damaged Mercedes back around to the pits. Let's see if Duncan can get anything done here. As looks like Jack Fletcher went around again. Down in P9 now. Duncan trying his best to get past Taylor Carter, get up to P6, get those points for Red Bull. So we got a yellow in sector 3. Joel Guron is out of the race.
Oh, Joel, you were doing so well, buddy. Bend it into the pits. Is that what I'm saying?
Looks like he lost it going into the chicane. It looks like Duncan and Taylor rubbing wheels heading into La Source here. Oh, and Duncan runs in the back of him. He tried the over-under, and they came together.
This has gotten real ugly real fast here at the end.
Gloves are coming off. I don't know if Duncan got any wing damage from that. It looks like his wing's intact. Let's see if it goes through La Source. Yeah, Rouge looks like he did it okay. That's going to move Duncan up to P5. Got his elbows out to get it done, but 2 laps to go. And Lee Hall, Raptor, and Gator, your top 3. The track is drying out. It is. Bob was he was onto something there. He's got the soft tires out so that there's no more spray coming off the cars. Can Bob make any positions up, though?
And can Sid's patience pay off here? As people start to overheat those intermediates.
Yeah.
Sid finally says, oh, thank you, let's go.
I mean, strategies.
An amazing race.
Strategies coming into play now. I'm going to watch, let's see, who we're going to watch here. We're going to keep an eye on, looks like Gator up in P3. He's got a losing ground to Raptor, though. Raptor's pulling away in that Haas.
If you're Tom, you got to get on it right now, and you got to close that gap up to Gator and hope those penalties promote you to the podium. And it'd be a double McLaren podium for the first time this year.
Yeah, let's pull the penalties up so we can see what those are going to be. As we start the final lap, yellow in Sector 2. That looks like Bob around or Ranger. Is it Ranger? It is Ranger. And the Mercedes just continuing to struggle. He's going to lose another position there. So when you take the penalties into play, Lee Hall, your race leader, is still going to have a comfortable lead here. Raptor.
Carter's out of the session. Bended on the straight right after the chicane.
No, Taylor Carter's out on the front straightaway on the final lap.
Will not be a safety car, though, because it is the final lap. They'll let him drive on.
At this point, I think everybody's going to kind of hold station even after the penalties. I don't see any. I mean, I think Victor Diaz is going to drop a few positions unless he appeals that penalty after the race. He may get it back. But Lee Hall, the McLaren driver, has really put his car in a good position late in this race.
Just incredible patience. Didn't put a foot wrong as far as we saw, and just slowly picked them off one by one.
His best finish was back at Austria, P5, on his first race of the season. Since then, only 2 points finishes, 2 no starts as well.
Victor Diaz goes into the pits to put on a set of softs. He can't take fastest lap at this point. Not likely to make up any positions at this point, so I don't know why you don't just stay out and just finish the last lap.
But here comes Lee Hall.
As Victor spins it around through Eau Rouge into Radion, and he is out of the session, broke his rear tire.
No way. Victor's out. But I'll tell you who's in. Lee Hall, your winner of the Belgian Grand Prix, gets his first win of the season for McLaren. Amazing drive, great finish. Victor Diaz out of the session. It's going to move Sid up to P12. Raptor comes across the line, takes P2. Great drive from him. Gator filling in, and the Williams gets P3. Great run for both those guys. Both Raptor and Gator doing relief work this week. His Ranger's out of the race. Ranger lost it on the last lap.
Right before the source. Corners.
He lost it in Campus down 13-14 down there, yeah. So that's going to move him down to P12 after Sid gets his overtake. Sid running his patient race, gets 2 positions on the last lap. He'd love to see it, man. Wow. Bob Loblaw, after leading most of this race, gets caught out by the rain and comes in, finishes P8. Peter Giordano had a nice recovery. So did Duncan McCamick, P5 and 6. Jordan Angus there coming home P9 in the Alpha Tauri. What a race!
Amazing. We have 3 teams with both drivers scoring points. That's it. Gator 20-second time penalty, ignoring yellow flags, drops him to P5. So we're going to have a double McLaren podium. I don't know. It seemed like that just happened.
That was interesting.
Already crossed the line, and that's. We'll need to take a look at that after the race. The stewards will have to investigate that.
Yeah, Codemasters being Codemasters. I'll give Raptor the driver of the day. I think he deserved it. He started, if I remember right, he started well down the field there. Look at the trot for Lee coming onto the podium. That's awesome. Little fancy wave there. Double McLaren on the podium. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one yet. That's awesome.
Temporarily, barring the penalty to Gator, who drove great all night. So this was another one of those races. We talked about this a few weeks ago. One of those races that had it all. You had the leader go out. You had a couple of quick drivers behind go out. You saw strange things like Duncan going airborne through a chicane, cutting a chain.
Sorry, Reeves. Look at the top 3 though. Started P14, P15, P16. That is
and even Gator.
And Gator P17. You're absolutely right. I mean, what a drive from these guys. Raptor gets the fastest lap to boot. Man, Spa always delivers, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. So let's try to get some of these guys in here and see if I can get them sorted out real quick. See who we can get in here first. And we have a Shaggy Muffin in the waiting room. Wonder if he's got something he'd like to say. Probably wait on them. Let me talk to him real quick. CP3 went to Tom. I've got Raptor ready to go. Let's see if Tom wants to hop in.
Let's bring Raptor in if he's ready.
There's Tom. Let's grab Tom.
Okay.
Tom, double McLaren podium. It looks like there was a penalty applied there at the end, and you got promoted to P3. It's that's your first time on the podium this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I assume that penalty's going away, but I got the pictures up on the podium, so it's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay, how about now? So, yep, look good on the podium there for 2 McLarens, but yeah, we'll see how the penalties shake out after it's all said and done. But yeah, I mean, great finish though, still for finishing up in the top 3, especially starting in the back of the grid. Walk us through that race because it seemed pretty exciting from our view.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was kind of disappointing falling that far back, both me and Lee Hall, in qualifying, but we knew that this track is just a disaster in terms of, people going off and hitting each other, so we knew we had a chance, and, we just stuck it out, got a lot of safety cars, and worked our way up. And the rain really helped out as well, letting us kind of one stop on mediums.
Absolutely. It seemed to put you guys in a good position there at the end. Congratulations. We'll see how it works out after the podium. Worst case, you get P4. Still a great finish.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job, Tom. All right, let's talk to the man who's got to be tired, a guy that has ran double races. And not only has he run double races around one of the longest tracks in F1, it is one of the longest tracks in F1 in double races, and both of them had rain. Let's talk to a guy that loves driving in the rain, it seems. It's Raptor. P2,
Yeah,
man.
I don't like driving in the rain, but hey, you just gotta work with what you got.
It seems to suit you, though.
First race it kind of messed me up, but second race I just stumbled in a P2.
Raptor, you've got so much pace. You're so exciting to watch. And, I mean, it seems like bad luck, one thing after another. You'll get up there, and then something will happen. You'll fall down, get up there and fall down. This time it happened in qualifying. You started P7, or I think, P15, I think, and you finished P2, man. I mean, we don't have any telemetry, so I can't go back and look at everything, but just walk us through how you ended up in that position.
Well, I just kept pushing, and like I said, the safety car and then the rain really just threw a wrench into everyone's race. People who were at the wrong place, wrong time just got screwed, and people who were at the right place, the right time got a head start. So.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Great drive, and I know you got to be tired. I hope you got a bite to eat between the races there because it's back-to-back for you tonight.
No, it was fun at least. I had to fight with some people, so.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Yep, thanks.
Get some rest, Raptor. All right, so for the first time this year, for the first time this season, a double McLaren podium, and the guy leading the way, I don't even remember his name. What's his name? Bill or something? Oh, it's Lee Hall. Lee Hall, welcome to the broadcast, buddy.
Hello,
Great job.
Revis.
You
Thank
won.
you for having me. Yes,
Wow.
I did. That was an insane race. So qualifying, I got through in Q1 easily. Had a really good medium tire run going, but I just didn't lift enough right before the last, basically before the last straight. It's not a straight, but in a modern F1 car is. Binned it, but I figured, whatever. There's probably going to be a safety car or two, and there was. But turn 1, actually, I accidentally started on softs. I misclicked on the strategy, which was not what I wanted, but, still, whatever. And into turn 1, I don't know what happened to Sid, but I had to kind of avoid a collision, and as a result, somebody then banged into my wing, so that I had the entire lap with wing damage. So here I am in P19 or 18, having to box, change the wing, change to mediums, but thankfully the lap after there's a safety car, and from there it was just working my way through the field, and people just kept crashing, making mistakes, and you just take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely. So when you go back and watch your replay and you watch the replays, what you're gonna see happen to Sid is he actually goes airborne and over 2 cars, and it's really surprising that everyone kept it on track for that lap. And I know it's disappointing to have that wing damage early. I had the same experience on Saturday night, so really great job to hold it together through that lap.
Thank you. Did somebody hit him? He went airborne and he didn't DNF there. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, it was a lot of carbon fiber all over the track.
Yeah, Lee, congrats on your first win this season. Campbell in the chat wants to know how many more are you going to get this season?
Well, I couldn't race the last 2, unfortunately. I would have liked to do Mexico, Brazil. I'm not so great at, but I don't know. There's some really fast drivers who came into the league late. I would have definitely expected 2, maybe 3 wins before they came in. Now I wouldn't have expected any, so this is awesome. Hopefully they keep binning it, and I don't. So if that happens, I can win. But if not, I would not expect maybe more than 1 more win, honestly. But I should be here for all the remaining races. So
Awesome. Just keep putting yourself in good positions. Good things will happen, man. Congratulations on the win. Go celebrate, and we'll hope to see a Shuey later. I don't know.
absolutely. Thanks, guys.
See you, man.
Highly. Wow, what a series of races.
Yeah, man. The Spa always delivers. It's I don't even know what to say, man. It's been such a great 2 races between D2 and D1. We got the week off next week, so make sure you come back week after next and check out ZRL Zoom Racing League. I don't even know where we're going. Where are we going in 2 weeks, Rivas?
That's a real good. Oh, we're going to Jeddah, the brand new track that was just introduced in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really fast track. Lots of quick left, right, left, and then 1 corner, and then we're going again. It's a super fast. The idea behind Jeddah is they wanted to create the fastest street circuit possible, and I promise you it's going to be a lot of really fast racing.
Fast racing, tight walls on both sides. I've seen it. I've seen the onboards. It looks amazing, but we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and have a happy Thanksgiving for all the Americans, and we'll see you next time.